Hello again. This is Lucaf Fits video 9.1. We're going to be talking about Voltaire's Candide. I'm going to try to keep this video short and to the point, but before I do that, I want to make an apology for having not made videos for the last several months. Between YouTube's website update that has made it very temperamental and difficult to upload videos, some software errors on the part of my machine, and then the fact that my entire family has either been sick or working or holidaying, we've just been too busy to make some videos as well. So, a quick introduction to Voltaire's Candide. It's a very short novel. He wrote it over the course of 3 days, in other words, a long weekend. He uses philosophical wordplay. For instance, he takes phrases that were very popular in his day in philosophical writings, such as sufficient reason and using rhetorical language out of context, the force of arguments, and the efficacy of words and things like that. He illustrates towards the very beginning of the book what would be a very graphic, erotic scene if it weren't for the fact that the entire thing was using philosophical language as a double entendre. So rather than being very graphic, it was simply comedic in that the force of his argument caused so-and-so to find sufficient reason to cry out. It was written during the Enlightenment. Leibniz, of calculus fame, alongside Newton and some other guys, had determined with his philosophy that this is the best of all possible worlds. Basically following the logic that everything in the universe is held into existence by God thinking about it. If God is the way we understand him to be, he would be perfectly benevolent, and any benevolent God would only allow the best of all possible worlds to exist. Therefore, since this universe exists, it is the best of all possible worlds. Voltaire, being a Frenchman, disagreed with that principle on just about every level. So he decided to write the book Candide as basically a counterpoint to this being the best of all possible worlds. In Voltaire's signature brand of sarcasm and satire, he writes Candide from the alleged perspective of understanding everything to be the best of all worlds. This is best illustrated towards the middle of the book. Candide, a man who has had every horrible thing imaginable happen to him. He's on a boat, and there's a terrible storm that strikes, and a bunch of people drown, and he's very sad, and he goes to his teacher, who's basically Leibniz stuck directly into the story, and he says, well, this doesn't make any sense. All these horrible things are happening. Can you explain this to me? And his teacher says, oh, yes, the sea was created specifically to drown these men for the greatest good. And Candide just kind of looks at that very briefly and is puzzled, and then more horrible things proceed to happen. Voltaire was not afraid to push the limits of censorship and public norm. That was essentially the entire career he had set out for him in philosophy, moving philosophy out of the monasteries and out of the schools and centers of learning into the living room, bringing women and uneducated men and even slaves and children into these discussions simply to expand the philosophical mindset to everybody as opposed to the educated elite men. That's essentially what we're attempting to do here with Lucaf Fits. Basically, the same disease that Voltaire had seen, where philosophy has become a self-referential enterprise for the elite. In this case, it would be the professors in their ivory towers at Ivy League schools and things like that, discussing finer points of things that don't matter to normal day-to-day people, or even true philosophers for that matter. So, even though I don't agree with most of Voltaire's philosophy, I do definitely enjoy reading his works and reading about what he had to say and do, simply because he definitely had the same spirit in his approach to philosophy that I have and that I'd like to impart on the people that are coming to our club. This all ties together essentially because next, I'm hoping the next big work that we read, I'm hoping will be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And if nobody has read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Candide, then this will be a unique experience, putting one or both works into a new perspective for you, as in its own way, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is the spiritual inheritor of Candide. So I will see you next week with more in-depth analysis, but this was the introduction, and I hope you enjoy reading it. If anybody wants to join us February 10th for our discussion, that would be great. See you later. I have to pardon the background sounds. We're getting ready for bed. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Oh, into the
tell me you're in an all-time low. Say you can be with me now, but you don't know I've heard it all before. When I say trust me, you ask how. You don't wanna feel the sting anymore. Truth is scary and life is pain. You say you'll never walk that road again. So you've got hopes and secret fears. So you don't want me to see your tears. So you've been hurt by truths and lies. That's what it means to be alive. Let me see your best and your worst. Pieces of you that always felt cursed. Let me stand by you and pay the price. Let me break your heart of ice. Tell me you just can't be my girl. Say you need to figure yourself out first. You're so used to you against the world that you start to like how it hurts. You let the past set your future in stone. Know exactly how this all plays out, but you were never meant to walk this trail alone. Missing out what this is about. Love is terrifying, friendship's agony. You say that's not what you wanna be. So you've got hopes and secret fears. So you don't want me to see your tears. So you've been hurt by truth and lies. That's what it means to be alive. Let me see your best and your worst. Pieces of you that always felt cursed. Let me stand by you and pay the price. Let me break your heart of ice. So you got hopes and secret fears. So you don't want me to see your tears. So you've been up with truths and lies. That's what it means to be alive. Let me see your best and your worst. Pieces of you that always felt cursed. Let me stand by you